Everyone, welcome back. So this is the continuation of my earlier tutorial. Where we have started the Ambari server on one of the machines. So today we'll set up the cluster in Ambari. Okay. So at the end of this tutorial, you will be able to create cluster with 3 nodes. Okay, on Ambari, you will be able to launch several Hadoop components on Ambari. You will be able to configure them. You will be able to start them, stop them. Okay, so we have 3 machines that we are going to use. So already we have seen the M1 machine, which is running the Ambari server, and we are logged in to Ambari server using the IP address of M1 with the port number 8080. So we are going to log into the Ambari server using the default password that we did last time. Okay, so here we are. So now the next thing is that we are going to create a cluster with these 3 nodes. Okay, and we are going to launch components and install the HDFS. Okay, so before we proceed, let's just have a look at my our channel Linux Unix AX. Please subscribe if you haven't done yet, and please share with people if you find this useful. Okay, so that's it. So let's start. So let's just click on launch install wizard. Okay, and here you have to give the cluster name. So let's say I give my cluster. Okay, and then click on next. Here you have to select Hadoop 3.1 and all the versions of all the components that we are going to install. The Accumulo, Atlas, HBase and everything is given here. HDFS, what are the versions we are going to install. So let it be as it is, just use default versions. Okay, and just let it be, and just click on next. Okay, so once you're done, then you have to here specify the host names that you are going to include in the cluster. Okay, fine. So here I am going to put the host name, the private IP addresses. So, okay, so make sure you have put all the 3 machines in your etc host. So these are my 3 machines. So you should write private IP, then the alias name, and then the private DNS. Okay, so just select the private DNS, and you should make sure that you comment all other IPv6 addresses. Okay, fine. So just put host name here. Okay, and then we are going to. So here we are not going to set up SSH now. Just select the second option, perform manual registration on host and do not use SSH. Okay, so just select this option. So here you get a message that by not using SSH to connect to the target host, you must manually install and start the Ambari agent on each host. Okay, so that we have to do. So already on our M1 machine, the Ambari server is running, that we have seen, right? Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to start Ambari agent on rest of the 2 machines. Okay, so Ambari agent, you don't need to start Ambari server on other 2 machines. Okay, you just have to start Ambari agent. Okay, so here you see Ambari agent is not running. Okay, yeah. So before we start Ambari agent, you just have to go to configuration file, etc Ambari agent conf. So here you have this file Ambari agent ini. So here instead of localhost, you give the server a host name, which will be M1. So we are setting M1 as the Ambari server, right? So just give M1 as the Ambari server. Okay, and then just start Ambari agent. Okay, so should start Ambari agent over here. Similarly, we have to do the same thing in our M3 machine. So you just have to log into Ambari file and just make sure you put M1 at here. Okay, so this is your M1 machine. Let me just check. Okay, oh, this is M2 machine, sorry. And then this is 176. Okay, and this is one moment. Okay, so this is your 97, which is M3. Okay, so this is M3 machine. So you have to go to etc Ambari agent. Okay, one moment. So I think, let me just check. So here you see Ambari agent starting, which is 176, and here it is already running. So you have to start Ambari agent on all the 3 machines. Okay, so let me just check if we have installed Ambari agent on M3 or not. Okay, so Ambari agent is not installed on M3 machine. Okay, so we are going to install Ambari 3 on M3 machine. Okay, so let me just check the so we are going to get the okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to get the repo key again, like we did for M1. Okay. And we are going to install Ambari agent on M3 machine. Okay, so let me just check if it is started over here. So 1 second. Okay, so Ambari agent status. Okay, 1 second. So I have to be logged in as root. Then we have to go as this. We have to check Ambari agent status. Okay, so Ambari agent is running. So sometimes this AWS server has some problem and it is hanging. So Ambari server is running. Let's just check the log and make sure it is running fine. Okay, so it is running. Okay, it's connected to M1 machine. Fine. So now let's go to M3 and let's go to M3 machine. This is my M3 machine. That's the problem with the AWS server. Sometimes it is not able to respond. So let me just okay, so it is done. Fine. Next, what we do is we apt get install Ambari agent. Okay, so it will install Ambari agent on M3 machine, right? Yeah. So M1 and M2 are having Ambari agent, and it is running, and we are just going to set up. I'll just pause the video for a while so that. Okay, so Ambari agent is installed on M3 machine, so we are going to again into the ini file and going to edit the host name like we did in M1 and M2, and we are making the Ambari server as M1. So and again we are going to start the Ambari agent. Okay, and let me just check. Okay, so Ambari agent is installed. Started. Let's just check the log. Okay, so it is running. So you have to make sure that Ambari server is running on M1 machine and Ambari agent is running in all the 3 machines. Okay, then only you will be able to create the cluster. Okay, so again we are going to make a check here. So this is my M1. So Ambari server is running. Ambari agent status. Ambari agent is running. Next we go to M2 machine and we check Ambari agent is running, and then we go to M3 machine, and here also we run the same command. Ambari, it is already running, so we just run status and it's running. Okay, so we are good to go, and now we can start the cluster creation. So here you entered all the 3 host name, the fully qualified name you have to enter. Okay, and then we select the manual registration, and we have started the agent on all 3 machines with M1 as the server. Then you have to click on register and confirm. So it is saying you must install Ambari agent on each host you want to manage before you proceed. So we have already installed Ambari agents and started them. So we click OK. So let's see what is happening here. So as you can see here, we get a message. So I think here we'll get the potential problem as NTP. So let me just check, and we will install apt install NTP as well, because NTP is required for cluster creation. So I am going to install NTP on all the 3 machines. Okay, so apt install NTP, and then we will not get that warning NTP, and then we are going to start the NTP service. Okay, I think that's what we got here, right? So some warnings were encountered while performing the checks. Okay, so you see the host registration is successful, but we have got 3 warnings as you can see. So everything else is fine, disk issue, repository issue, firewall issue, everything is fine, but we have this problem, NTP is not running in all the 3 machines. Okay, so we are going to install NTP and start them. Okay, so we have installed NTP and we have started it on all the 3 machines. So let's just check one more time. So NTP is running on all the 3 machines. Okay, fine. So now we shall go here and okay, so we click on next. Okay, so here you see host checks failed. So here you can just click on OK, because we have already started NTP. Next, so here again you have to choose your services that you want to include on the cluster. So try to make it minimal. Okay, so HDFS anyway we need, then yarn and MapReduce, then you need Thais. Okay, so Hive you need HBase, Peak, Sqoop. Okay, so here if you don't need something, let's say we are not going to install everything here, so let's just remove something which is not required. Smart sense. Okay, so spark to Druid. Okay, so fine, we are going to test the minimal number of apps. Okay, so Thais is also not required, just uncheck that. Fine, so we click on next. You see, you did not select Thais, but it is needed for other services you selected. It will automatically add. Okay, just let it be. So proceed. Okay, proceed anyway. Okay, either select infrastructure to be added to the cluster or ensure you configure your own during the customize services step. Okay, so it is asking to include solar as well, so we'll just go back. So we'll just include infra solar. Fine, so this we click on next. Okay, so now it will. Okay, so now we have to assign master and slaves. Okay, yeah, so here assign master components to host 2. So secondary name node, let it run on let's say M2. Okay, so 176 is my M2. Name node we are running on M1, that is fine. Timeline service, resource manager, let it run on M1, HT server M2. Okay, and likewise you can select the machines. Okay, and Grafana again on M1. Fine, so click on next. Okay, so now what we have is we need to assign the slaves and client components. So data node we want to install on, let's say I want to install data node on all the 3 machines. Fine. Then gateway, NFS gateway, let it be not required. Node manager we are going to install on M3. Fine. Region server and accumular server on M3. Ranger client, so client we are going to make M2 and M3. Let it just select M2 and M3. Fine, we click on next. Okay, so here you have to choose password for all your services. Okay, so you can give any password, like whatever you want. You have to enter and you have to retype it. Okay, so just I'm putting the default password for every service so that I do not forget anything. Admin, which is the default password. Okay, so it is going to ask so many things. Okay, so fine, couple of more passwords. Okay, so we click on next. So here you are getting some warning, Ranger and Ranger KMS. Okay, so Ranger DB host it is asking. Okay, so Ranger DB host you can put M1. Okay, and then set up database and database server. So here you can select no as well if you don't want to set up the database. So I'm just going to keep the values and we click on Ranger KMS. So don't worry if your database connection does not work at this moment. So we are going to configure database later as well. So just give admin password as a default password. Okay, so then click on next. Okay, so here you will get details like where your data node will be installed, where your name node directory will be installed, where your secondary checkpointing directory will be present, and NFS gateway, everything. Let it be as it is, and let it be a default values. Okay, then click on next, and these are your user ID and groups. Okay, so we'll go with the default user and groups. Click on next. Okay, so here you can see that the name node directory, data node directory, and here you will get that data node maximum Java heap size is. So my system is currently having 1 GB of RAM, so we'll just give it like 800 MB or something like that. Okay, so that it doesn't show a warning. Okay, and we are getting some errors here, so let me just check. Click on this, and okay, so it is saying something like admin password should be minimum of 8 characters. Okay, so okay, so it is just you can set the password to minimum of 8 characters. So okay, so you can give anything like that. It's up to you, and that way you will be able. So let me just resolve all the password conflicts, and I'll just assign it. Okay, so I have set the password of 8 characters. Now we click on next. So Derby is not recommended for production use. With Derby, Uzi, Server HA, and concurrent connections support will not be available. Proceed anyway. Okay, so here you will get a message to review the configuration. Okay, so the cluster name is my cluster. There are 3 nodes, and these are the repository. Okay, so HDFS data node 3, name node on M1, and like that you will get all the messages. You just have to review them. Okay, so in fact you can download the blueprint here, so that you can use later for accessing the services. So I downloaded them, and now click on deploy. So once you click on deploy, it will take some time and will deploy all the components on the cluster. Okay, so as you can see, now it is installing the components on all the machines, all the 3 machines. So it will take some time, so I'll just pause the video and let me just so it may take some time, like half an hour, 1 hour, depending on the connection speed and the number of services and components we have selected. Okay, so and if it takes more time, maybe I am gonna record another video to finish this. So let's just check how much time it takes. Okay, since it is taking a lot of time, so we are going to continue in the next tutorial for cluster installation. So as it is already 24-25 minutes. So we'll continue in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.